Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into the massive multidisciplinary world of biotechnology. Now, this is a field that's literally rewriting the code of life as we know it, but as you'll see, its origins are actually way older and honestly probably a lot closer to home than you might think. So, let's kick things off with a bit of a curveball. What do a pint of beer and a life-saving vaccine actually have in common? I mean, on the surface, absolutely nothing, right? But fundamentally, they both rely on the exact same underlying principle, and that is harnessing living organisms, or their biological byproducts, to create something highly useful for humanity.
And that brings us to the formal definition of biotechnology. It's the multidisciplinary integration of natural sciences and engineering to harness living systems and organisms for products and services. Basically, it's not just researchers in pristine clean rooms carefully handling pipettes. It's the whole shebang. It includes early farmers domesticating plants, the fermentation of yeast to bake a simple loaf of bread, and yes, that breathtaking CRISPR gene editing technology making headlines today. It's all connected by one single drive: putting biology to work. Because this topic is so incredibly vast, spanning thousands of years, here is our roadmap for the explainer. First, ancient roots to modern science. Second, the biotech rainbow. Third, healing and feeding humanity. Fourth, industrial and environmental solutions. Fifth, inside the biotech laboratory. And finally, regulation, ethics, and tomorrow. Let's get into it. Section 1, ancient roots to modern science. Let's look back for a second, because biotech is actually a deeply historical human practice. We can track this fascinating chronological journey from a simple concept to a booming global industry. Back in 1919, an agricultural engineer named Carly Erecki actually coined the term biotechnology. He envisioned using biology to turn raw materials into useful products. Fast forward to 1928, and Alexander Fleming gives us penicillin, proving a humble mold could completely revolutionize medicine. Then, in 1971, Paul Berg achieves historic success in gene splicing. This was huge, guys, the real birth of modern molecular biotech. And finally, a massive turning point in 1980. The U.S. Supreme Court allows the patenting of a modified microorganism. That single legal decision basically launched the commercial biotech sector, because for the very first time, engineered life could legally be protected as intellectual property. Section 2, the biotech rainbow. Let's see how this builds into a colorful framework scientists use to organize all the different branches of this sprawling science.
First up, we've got red biotechnology. Red represents our relentless fight against disease and the preservation of human health. It's probably the branch we all think of first, encompassing the entire medical and pharmaceutical industries. This is the science making those life-saving vaccines and targeted antibiotics. It's driving massive advancements in stem cell applications, and it's the foundation of cutting-edge gene therapies. Just imagine a doctor being able to introduce a healthy gene directly into a patient's cells to permanently treat a devastating inherited disease. That is the incredible promise of red biotech.
Next is green biotechnology. As you might guess, this color represents how we engineer plants, making them resist pests, survive harsh environments, and ultimately feed our rapidly growing global population. While it absolutely builds on ancient selective breeding, today, green biotech mostly refers to modern agricultural processes and genetically modified or GM crops. Think about engineering a plant's DNA so it naturally expresses resistance to a specific insect. That single tweak can drastically reduce a farmer's need for chemical pesticide sprays, boost yields, and help secure our food supply against a changing climate. It's a real game changer.
Then we have white biotechnology. This one focuses on shifting us away from our traditional petrochemical-based economy toward a highly efficient bio-based industrial manufacturing model. Also known as industrial biotechnology, this branch uses living cells or isolated enzymes to manufacture everyday products at a massive scale. We're talking biodegradable plastics that don't choke the oceans, super efficient enzymes in your daily laundry detergent, and advanced biofuels. It's all about leveraging nature's brilliantly efficient machinery so our industries consume way fewer natural resources.
And rounding out the rainbow is gray biotechnology. Think of this as our environmental cleanup crew. This branch is entirely dedicated to environmental applications, specifically maintaining delicate biodiversity and actively removing dangerous pollutants from our ecosystems. Instead of using harsh synthetic chemicals to clean up accidents, gray biotech uses microscopic life, carefully selected or engineered to literally eat and break down human-made waste. It's using biological processes to heal ecological damage. How cool is that? Section 3, healing and feeding humanity. Now that we know the colors, let's explore the real-world impact of the red and green branches and why they matter to you personally. In modern medicine, we are rapidly moving way past the old era of one-size-fits-all treatments. We're entering an age where your unique DNA actually dictates the safest and most effective therapies specifically for you. This is a groundbreaking field called pharmacogenomics. It's an incredible fusion of pharmacology and genomics. By analyzing your unique genetic variations, doctors can meticulously optimize drug therapies. They can predict exactly how your body will metabolize a pill. This ensures you get maximum effectiveness with minimal adverse side effects. We're talking about truly personalized medicine tailored directly to the chemical code inside your own cells. Now, shifting back to agriculture, consider the sheer scale of how fast this technology has been adopted. Just look at this massive number, 94. That represents a staggering 94-fold increase in the total surface area of land cultivated with genetically modified crops worldwide, and that was just between 1996 and 2011. To put that in perspective, we went from roughly 17,000 square kilometers to a massive 1.6 million square kilometers. Farmers globally have enthusiastically embraced green biotech, and they aren't doing it just for the novelty of it. They're actively using these engineered seeds to dramatically improve crop yields, build resistance against severe droughts, and even enhance the base nutritional profile of stable crops to combat global malnutrition.
Section 4. Industrial and Environmental Solutions. Shifting gears again, let's look at how white and gray biotechnologies offer tangible, scalable solutions to global pollution and energy problems.
Right now, industrial microbes are acting as microscopic factories. They literally eat renewable raw materials and churn out highly valuable alternatives to fossil fuels. Through a field known as synthetic biology, scientists are re-engineering the actual metabolic pathways of common microbes like E. coli. By precision editing their genome, scientists can basically reprogram these tiny organisms, turning them into highly efficient, incredibly cost-effective producers. So instead of just multiplying, these bacteria are programmed to manufacture everything from clean-burning biofuels to complex precursor chemicals used in modern manufacturing, all without pumping more carbon from the ground.
We can also deploy nature's own mechanisms to undo the damage caused by industrial accidents. This is called bioremediation. It's the beneficial, targeted application of biotechnology to clean up severe environmental hazards. Picture this: unleashing a customized strain of bacteria whose sole food source is crude oil, sending them out to literally eat up a catastrophic oil spill in the ocean. Or installing biofilters teeming with engineered microorganisms to actively scrub and filter harmful, volatile organic compounds out of urban air. Gray Biotech really empowers us to use biological systems to aggressively restore the natural environment. Section 5. Inside the Biotech Laboratory. We've talked a lot about the grand, colorful possibilities of the rainbow, but now it's time for a reality check on how these scientific miracles actually come to life.
Because, creating a commercial biotech product isn't just about having a sudden eureka moment in the lab. Behind all this futuristic science lies an incredibly strict world of textbook safety protocols, quality assurance, and reproducible documentation. All of this ensures these products are completely safe for humanity. It requires incredibly rigid quality systems. Everything, from exactly how a standard operating procedure is drafted, to the daily calibration of sensitive instruments, to continuously controlling the exact particulate count and temperature of a clean room, is meticulously managed. In this industry, good science simply has to be entirely reproducible, day in and day out. Every single biotech product has to survive a painstaking, multi-step life cycle before it ever has a chance to reach a hospital, pharmacy, or a farmer's field. It starts with basic research and discovery, where the initial concept is tested. Then it moves into intense development to figure out practical applications. Next comes scaled-up production, figuring out how to manufacture it in bulk. That's followed immediately by uncompromising quality control to ensure every single batch is absolutely perfect. And finally, regulatory affairs, which means navigating the complex legal approvals required to actually sell it. Moving just one biological product through this pipeline requires massive capital investment and often takes years, sometimes decades, of rigorous testing to definitively prove both efficacy and safety. Section 6. Regulation, Ethics, and Tomorrow. Because these products have such profound, lasting impacts on our bodies and our shared environment, let's examine the complex rules governing them. Now, while scientific consensus generally holds that currently available GM foods are perfectly safe for human consumption, different governments have adopted vastly different regulatory approaches to address public concerns. For example, the United States primarily assesses genetically modified organisms based on the intended use and safety of the final product itself, regardless of how it was made. But on the flip side, the European Union takes a markedly different path. They strictly differentiate between approving a GM crop to actually be cultivated within its own borders versus just approving it to be imported and processed for animal feed or industrial use. It's a really fascinating look at how global policy, cultural norms, and public perception constantly intersect with, and sometimes complicate, pure laboratory science.
Furthermore, getting a revolutionary product to market requires navigating a dense labyrinth of patents, trade secrets, and intellectual property rights. Now, these legal protections are what actually fund that bottomless initial investment we discussed earlier. Biotech companies rely heavily on securing durable patent rights to eventually recoup their immense research and development costs. Without strict intellectual property protection, guaranteeing a period of exclusivity, the incredibly expensive financial engine driving these medical and agricultural breakthroughs would simply stall out, and innovation would quickly grind to a halt.
So, as we master the tools to rewrite the code of life, the ultimate question isn't just what can we build, but what should we? I'll leave you with that provocative thought to ponder, wrapping up our explainer on the incredible, highly regulated, and colorful world of biotechnology. We now possess the tools to alter the very building blocks of life, giving us unprecedented power to heal debilitating diseases, feed a hungry planet, and clean our damaged environment. Balancing that immense power with careful responsibility is absolutely the true challenge of the 21st century. Thank you for joining me, and I hope this journey has helped illuminate how biological science is quite literally shaping our future.